shoulders and a heart full of sports memories.
The Chicago Bears are world champions of football.
Leaving for Craddock, center tip, they score! A diving deflected by Mike Hudson.
Today, however, no sissy sports allowed as real men come to the beach. Next. Chicago, the sun, the sand, the surf, and the Sears Tower. Yes, Marv, it's live. Pro Beach Volleyball. We have got a big crowd today. The fans are ready. The beautiful people are out. And they are dressed appropriately for the $100,000 Miller Lite Open here in Chicago. We have a quarterfinal match in progress. Scott Ayakatubby, Eric Fonoimoana are leading Randy Stoklos and Adam Johnson at the moment, 7-3. I'm Chris Marlowe along with Paul Sunderland, one of 4 quarterfinal matches. Johnson and Stoklos, you saw them recently. The champions of Manhattan are playing the upstart kids, Fonoimoana and Ayakatubby, the champions at Baltimore. Good matchup.
And overcut.
Ayakatubby with a block. And Johnson tips it out, but a net. Early on, it was Ayakatubby and Fonoy. They got off to a great start, 5-0, Paul.
Well, they came out, warmed up really hard, and they jump serve so effectively as a pair. There's no relaxing when either of them is serving. And Johnson and Stoklos were just a step slow, not ready to go. They got down 5-0, been trying to claw their way back in ever since.
4 minutes, 25 seconds remain. It's 7-3. Chance for a point. Stoklos! Out of bounds.
Turned me once, turned me twice, and Stokey just could not quite make the play. Very good soft block. And in that situation, Adam Johnson just trying to get him near the net, something he can swing at, but Stoklos trying to do a little too much.
28-year-old Scott Ayakatubby to serve.
Good. And cut.
And it's rejected.
Eric Fonoimoana won his first in Baltimore, said he'd be stoked for the rest of his life if he were to win again in Chicago. I guess he believes in reincarnation. Great block.
The 25-year-old Fonoimoana, one of the rising stars on the AVP Tour. Matter of fact, he and Ayakatubby have never lost. They have the best winning percentage of all time, 1-for-1. Johnson puts it away. They won in Baltimore, then split up for Manhattan. And now they are back together again. Of course, Johnson and Stoklos have been together the entire year and playing their best volleyball right now.
Well, you win Manhattan, that gives you a tremendous amount of momentum, but they took 2 weeks off, not one. Adam Johnson played in the Celebrity Golf Association tournament up in Tahoe, seen on NBC. 2 weeks off, maybe a little bit rusty right now. They've come out slow.
8-3 is our score. Fonoy cross-courts it.
You know, you can just see the athletic ability starting to brew to the top in Fonoimoana, an All-American at University of California at Santa Barbara as an outside hitter. Passes the ball extremely well and really coming into his own as a mature beach volleyball player. Very tough mentally and in great shape.
He's serving with an 8-3 lead.
Easy ball. And nobody!
Fabulous set by Johnson and the kill by Stoklos.
Johnson and Stoklos have had a relatively easy time siding out. By that I mean successfully putting the ball down like this, running your offense, and Stokey Thay's been out here a long time, but he can still bomb the ball. But they're not scoring well. Stoklos has got to block more efficiently.
Stoklos, the second all-time winningest player behind longtime partner St. John Smith. He'll serve.
And
trouble.
Fonoy saves it. Fonoy and Stokey. And Fonoy wins the battle. Few people realize how strong Fonoy is.
Well, just look at him. I don't think anybody watching's wondering anymore. He has spent a lot of time in the weight room, particularly in the last 24 months. Very, very strong in the upper body, but equally strong down below. Lots of squats, lots of heavy, heavy jump training on his legs.
Fonoy at the net. His partner Scott Ayakatubby serving. And Stoklos beans it. Randy Stoklos won this tournament last year with Brian Lewis after he had dropped St. John Smith. Stoklos with 2 wins currently this year, both with his partner Adam Johnson. Don't forget, coming up a little later, QuarterFinals and Kent Steffes back together again. They'll take on Troy Tanner and Wes Welch in our featured quarterfinal. That's later, as Ayakatubby cranks another one.
Ayakatubby bombing from the left, and Fonoimoana and Ayakatubby really complement one another. They both jump serve extremely well, good ball control, and they share the blocking and defensive responsibilities, stay really fresh. They share the workload very evenly.
Fonoy last year played with 13 different partners. He was not satisfied when he played poorly. This year he was hooked up with Scott Ayakatubby and developed into a premier player. 8 serving 3. And Stoklos, Fonoy going for it. Ack, not yet. It's tight, trouble, Ack, score!
You want to set the ball close to the net in the long rally, give your partner a good ball to swing at, but 6 inches too far, and all of a sudden the defense is in complete control.
20 seconds, sand timeout. Of course, the Miller Lite Cup, very, very important this year. Miller Lite giving out $750,000 at the end of the year, 1 through 48. Kent with a lead, but not quite as big.
Well, Kent Steffes now up there by himself. We haven't seen that for quite a while. They've always shared the top spot, but of course, QuarterFinals missed a couple of tournaments. Dodd and Whitmarsh having a phenomenal year. Stoklos, Johnson, and Ricky Ludes. That is the top group of 7. $750,000 overall.
Randy Stoklos fuming a bit because of the late sand timeout call. Apparently the referee called it on Stoklos when he was biding his time, so now Fonoimoana will serve. It's been all Fonoimoana and Ayakatubby. Try saying that a couple of times. They 9-3. And over. Stoklos, and it's out of bounds off Ayakatubby.
Started off on Adam Johnson, that is Ayakatubby and Fonoimoana. They were going after Johnson early in the match, went out to the 5-0 lead. He steadied down. Now they're going after Stoklos and have stretched that lead.
You mentioned that Adam Johnson had played in a celebrity golf tournament as he gives the ball to his big partner, Randy Stoklos. We'll get to that in a second. The 4th-ranked player on tour out of Pacific Palisades, California. See if Johnson stays at the net and blocks. It looks like he's going to. Ayakatubby goes on 2. Score remains 9-3, Fonoy and Ack.
And not a bad idea for Johnson and Stoklos to mix things up a little bit. Randy Stoklos would ordinarily do 100% of the blocking, but they're just in a bad flow, bad rhythm right now, and can't seem to break down Fonoimoana and Ayakatubby at all.
Ayakatubby to serve, ahead by 6. Johnson, Stoklos, got it. Very nice touch shot by Randy Stoklos, saving a point.
Well, you know, everybody expects Stokey to be able to bomb and jump serve so hard, block, and he does all those things, but after so many years and so many contacts, he's got real sophistication and touch to his game.
Johnson serving, and he's into the net. Of course, Scott Ayakatubby, one of the more intriguing personalities on tour. He wears an earring in his left ear. He once wore 5 earrings, 3 in the left and 2 in the right. That's when he was fully loaded in 1990.
That's only one more than you, isn't it, Chris?
Pretty good serve, ace. Fonoimoana gets his 3rd ace in this game.
Johnson and Stoklos were a step slow early. They picked it up a little in the middle, and now a couple of steps slow right now. And we talked about the double threat of Fonoimoana and Scott Ayakatubby. Every time they step back, you better be ready to roll.
Fonoimoana continues to serve, 10-3.
Good. And point.
Johnson and Ayakatubby forgot to block.
Side out,
A little brain
Johnson,
cramp
Stoklos.
there. Johnson and Stoklos get the ball.
I'd be very comfortable now, though, with a 7-point lead up 10-3. But again, Johnson and Stoklos have had so much trouble scoring points. They're not blocking well. They've changed things up here, and AJ's not scoring with his jump serve, which is really an important part of their team.
And a sand timeout taken by Fonoimoana and Ayakatubby. We'll take a quick break. We're coming back to Chicago after this. Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland back at the Miller Lite Open here in Chicago. Randy Stoklos, former King of the Beach, and Adam Johnson having a lot of trouble against Scott Ayakatubby and Eric Fonoimoana. Chance for a point. Stoklos out of bounds. Fonoy and Ak led 5-0, 7-3, have lengthened it out. It is 10-3 now with under 3 minutes to go in the game.
Well, you know, Johnson and Stoklos are getting frustrated, and with good reason. They change things up, do something smart strategically, get the dig, but cannot convert at the end of the play.
Ayakatubby serving.
And over.
And off the hands, out of bounds. Good shot by Randy Stoklos.
AJ back to serve.
There's
3,
Stoklos.
looking at 10.
Of course, all Pro Beach volleyball matches, at least AVP matches, on a clock. 9 minutes today, 2:48 to go in this one. 10-3, Fonoy and Ak. They have just dominated play.
Johnson and Stoklos can't get anything going. AJ, for a long time, had one of the most lethal jump serves on the beach, but it seems to have lost something, at least when his team is struggling. He doesn't seem to be able to pull out that big jump serve to start to create some momentum.
Fonoimoana with the serve.
And point. Come on.
Ak on the chance, and he's into the net. Ayakatubby's kind of a go-for-broke type of a player.
Well, he's what we call a terminal player. Popular book now, The Terminal Man. Great chase here by Fonoimoana, and right now the choice, do I set the ball or do I try to terminate? And Ak going for it there, not a bad choice.
Stoklos and Johnson need to rally.
Angle. Come on.
Fonoy and Ak, though, have looked very, very tough.
Ayakatubby back to
Of course,
serve.
Scott Ayakatubby grew up 4 houses from Hermosa Beach, California. Didn't like school, used to ditch school. Kind of a rebel with a cause. Learned how to play volleyball from his uncle, Matt Gage, who was one of the great all-time AVP players. Got the most unique trunks on tours. The dingle balls help him aerodynamically, he says.
This tour or any.
Chance for a point here, Fonoy. And Fonoy kills it.
Hey, on the next Rolling Stones tour, he'd still have the rarest clothes.
11-3, Fonoy and Ak all over the champions of Manhattan. They're killing them. Don't forget, Karch Karai and his famous kidney. We'll explore that kidney a little when we get to our feature match. Karch and Kent against Troy Tanner and Wes Welch, who have been playing beautifully and have always given Karai and Steffes trouble. That's a little later.
One of the few teams to beat Karai and Steffes this year, and they've done it more than once.
There's Ak.
AJ serving.
Now Johnson will serve. 3-11. They got to get going right now for points.
Yep. Angle. Nice.
You have to give a lot of credit to Fonoy and Ak. They're sliding out perfectly. They're not allowing Johnson and Stoklos to get points.
Well, and it all starts with the first contact. You have to be able to receive, serve, pass the ball to your partner on time, on rhythm, at the good spot each and every time, and they've had no problems with that whatsoever. See Stoklos and Johnson running around while they try to do the same thing.
Side out, Johnson.
So Adam Johnson gets the kill Adam Johnson getting his first Manhattan Open win. He says that puts me with an elite bunch of guys who did that. He was very, very proud of the Manhattan Open win. Of course, he had won the U.S. Open and other tournaments, but Manhattan, of course, a major on tour. Stoklos serving, trailing by 8. Fonoy dug it out, and he hits it into the bottom of the net. Point.
Well, you never know what's going to start a rally, and Johnson and Stoklos will take all the help they can get.
Can they come back? Stay with us. We'll be back to Chicago after this. Back in Chicago, Illinois at the Miller Lite Open. Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland. First day coverage on NBC. Of course, you can see the finals tomorrow live. One of a couple of quarterfinals we're going to show you today. Eric Fonoimoana, Scott Ayakatubby have dominated play in this one against Randy Stoklos and Adam Johnson. They lead by 7.
Well, in a play like that, very typical. Johnson and Stoklos just let it out, jump serving, and Fonoimoana and Ayakatubby just come up with the play and have continued to roll, been very steady and disciplined.
So the Ak will serve. A-Y-A-K-A-T-U-B-B-Y. Double contact. I had a chance to talk to Randy Stoklos this morning. He said he's been having trouble with his setting this year. He said, I've thrown more balls this year than every other year of my career combined.
I believe that.
Slid through your hands first. Here we go.
And he is considered perhaps the greatest setter of all time.
Well, he's the best I've ever seen. In all sorts of windy conditions. You have to take the ball in with both hands and then release it with both hands simultaneously. That one went left hand, then right hand. Lots of spin, mishandled ball, a good call.
Sand timeout call.
So sand timeout taken by Johnson and Stoklos. They are in deep, deep trouble. 2 minutes and 2 seconds to go. It's 12-4, Ak and Fonoy.
What is cool? Does who you hang with make you cool? Yo, B, check me out! I'm funky. Maybe not. Hey, wait, these dudes are cool. Whoa, bro, I'm totally cool. Nah, maybe going prep is cool.
Hey, Buffy.
Now that is not cool. If I was like this guy, then I'd be cool. I need a cold drink. What should I drink?
Give your brain a rest. Obey your thirst. Sprite.
Who should I drink it with?
The top of the Chicago skyline and the championship court, a capacity crowd watching quarterfinal action. The outside courts are hopping. 8 courts going at the moment. This is quarterfinal action number 1. Adam Johnson, Randy Stoklos getting shellacked by Eric Fonoimoana and Scott Ayakatubby. Minute 57 to go, 12-4. Ak and Fonoy have been perfect.
Well, that's it. They've passed the ball extremely well. They can both set beautifully, and Johnson and Stoklos have done nothing to put any pressure on the game of Ayakatubby and Fonoimoana.
Johnson serving, and he's out of bounds.
That's been one of the biggest factors. Adam Johnson just missed his 4th serve. Randy Stoklos has missed a couple, and when they do keep the ball in the court, they're not causing Ak and Fonoy any problems.
Eric Fonoimoana to put the ball in play. Works out at Gold's Gym in Redondo Beach. He says, I'm the big man there now. They all know me from volleyball. All the big weightlifters like him. And it's inside the block. Of course, both Fonoimoana and Scott Ayakatubby very, very physical when it comes to weightlifting. Both very sculptured.
Well, everybody's learned a lot from Karch Kirai and his training. They look at Karch come on the beach, they look at Steffes, and everybody knows that you just have to be big and strong and physical in order to be successful at almost anything athletically.
Fonoimoana gets it through. That didn't stop you from being successful.
Well, I lifted weights, it's just that nothing happened.
It didn't affect your muscles, thank
God.
God.
There you go.
So here is Scott Ayakatubby. Won his first tournament back in 1986, playing with Brent Frohoff. Loves the jump serve. Loves to pound it.
Come on,
And Johnson is under the net. 13-4. And you feel the air has gone out of the Manhattan Open champs.
Boy, some changing conditions overhead, clouds, then sunshine, whatever, but Boy, what a dismal miss that time.
13-4, Ak and Fonoy closing in.
Interesting, of course, that Scott Ayakatubby dropped Eric Fonoimoana after they won in Baltimore for the opportunity to play with Kent Steffes, and played with him 2 weeks, finished 7th at Manhattan, 4th in Puerto Rico. Now Steffes goes back to Kurai, of course. And where does Ayakatubby go? You bet, back to Fonoimoana.
That serve out of bounds. Interestingly, I asked Eric Fonoimoana who called who. Did Ak call you or did you call Ak? He said right after Puerto Rico, I called Ak immediately and said, look, do you want to play? He said yes, and then I called Hovland on the phone and told him I wasn't playing. So Fonoy back with Ayakatubby, where they are undefeated. Johnson taps it down the line.
And I asked Eric Fonoimoana to continue on that. You know, when Ak dumped you so unceremoniously after your first ever career victory, you know, were you mad at him? Did you tell him off on the phone? He says, no, I don't want to burn that bridge. I want to get him back one day, and here they are.
Here comes Ayakatubby, and he rips it out of bounds. Point for Stoklos and Johnson. Do you believe in miracles? Well, only a minute 27 to make up a lot of points very quickly.
Well, of course, the clock only runs when the ball's in play, but I would say yes, if Johnson and Stoklos can show me a couple of aces.
Nope. Out of bounds. I don't know if a foot fault was called or was just out of bounds. Greg Krause making the call.
Stoklos and Johnson just have not served at all well in this match, and it's very hard to break down a very solid ball control team unless you jump serve extremely well.
Ayakatubby with the serve, leading 13-5.
Good.
Fonoy has it. See ya!
There's the terminal man, no reason to waste any time. And the earrings or the dingo balls aren't slowing him down or weighing him down. Again, ball control problems. Stoklos and Johnson not doing a good job handling the jump serve and paying for it.
14-5. Ak and Fonoy looking for game point.
Good.
Johnson sneaks it through. Of course, the loser of this match and any other quarterfinal is not out of the tournament. Double elimination, you have a chance to fight back the remainder of today and tomorrow. So Johnson and Stoklos, if indeed they do lose, could theoretically come back.
Yeah, but it's the Burma Road coming back through, of course, hot, humid Midwest conditions. They'll have to play several extra games tomorrow in order to work their way back.
Stoklos with the block. So Stoklos and Johnson finally get a point, but they've got just a minute and 9 seconds to get 8 more. The famous pink hat, the most famous kidney in beach volleyball, Karch Karai, preparing for his match still to come. Karai, Steffes, Tanner, and Welch following this one. Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland, part of the crowd in Chicago. Johnson and Stoklos trying to pull the miracle of all miracles. We've seen some strange things happen. Johnson did it. He served 2 points in 1 second in one tournament earlier in the year, but they trail 14-6 now. And now it is 14-7.
Footsteps. I hear some footsteps. But again, the way to score points quickly, serve aces. Adam Johnson and Randy Stoklos are both capable. They can creep back in. It would be a miracle finish, but Adam Johnson needs 2 aces, and right now.
And there is time. 20-second timeout taken by Fonoimoana and Ayakatubby. Now they've changed it to a full timeout. Full timeout for Fonoy and Ak. So they'll think about it. They still have a big lead with 1:03 to go, 14-7. It is a tough job. Sunderland and Marlowe are ready for it. Here in Chicago, beach volleyball, sunny day, big crowd, quarterfinal action. Johnson and Stoklos just got a point a minute ago. Fonoy and Ayakatubby, however, lead 14-7. Looking a little shaky now. Fonoy cranks it. Fonoy and Ak have dominated. They led 5-0. They led 10-3. They led 14-5. And once again, they have game point, Paul. Fonoy serving for the game. Johnson rips it. You can see Johnson and Stoklos getting a little confidence now
Yeah, but where was it earlier? I mean, they're 52 seconds left. They're down 14-7. Now they're talking to each other. Now they're going after it a little bit more. They just got to a horrible start.
Fonoimoana look a little shaky. Fonoimoana, big hit. Bolstered by the confidence that they indeed have won a tournament together.
Ayakatubby can get you out of so many problems with his ability to set the ball. You just pass the ball somewhere in the court, and he's got a phenomenal touch, overhand, and is really accurate bump setting the ball as well.
46 seconds remain. Third game point, Ayakatubby and Fonoimoana. Johnson taps it down the line. So Johnson and Stoklos trying to hang in and pray for combustion on the side of Fonoimoana.
Well, you got to keep playing. I mean, you know, Ayakatubby could step in a hole and sprain his ankle. You never know what could happen. You got to keep pushing and stay in the match.
Serendipity, huh? Perfect set. And Fonoimoana kills it other one. Eric Fonoimoana, his father Hawaiian, his ancestors Samoan descent. Got a big family. So brothers and sisters, and all very, very proud of what Fonoimoana has done so far this year. He's serving once again for the game. And no. And it's out of bounds, and that will do it. Two of the biggest and longest names in volleyball advance. Scott Ayakatubby and Eric Fonoimoana. They move on into the semifinals. We'll come back. We'll talk to Fonoimoana. Stay with us. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. 15-7 win. Don't forget the Kidney Man is coming up. Karch Karai, Kent Steffes. They'll be playing Troy Tanner and Wes Welch. But now let's go to our Prudential Update studio in New York and Marianne Grabavoy. Marianne? Kent Steffes and Karch Karai back together for the first time in 4.5 weeks. Kent Steffes will serve. He just turned 26. And Wes Welch bounces the first ball off Karai out of bounds. Wes Welch and Troy Tanner, a team that has improved tremendously this year. Wes Welch will serve. Good. All four players wearing white, if that helps you. And Steffes pounds it straight down. The Nestea plunge inside look for Karai and Steffes. What about Karch? How good is the kidney? Can he dive around? That's the big question. And of course, regaining the magic with Kent. They have not played together much. They've practiced, but can they play as well as they have? There's a stuffed Steffes, and it's 1-0.
Karai told me that he felt fine physically. He's had enough time to recuperate and get back in pretty good shape, and that means great shape for almost anybody else. But he says his ball control is still a little bit rusty.
Karch Karai serving with a 1-0 lead.
I got it.
Off the hands, Karch goes and gets it. And off Troy Tanner for a point. 2-0. Nestea plunge, inside look, Troy Tanner and Wes Welch. Wes Welch has to be hot. He sometimes can be erratic. He needs to play big today, and they have to get off to a quick start. They haven't done that. They trail 0-2. Welch. I think you would agree. Wes Welch, right there in the white hat, white tank. He has as much talent as anybody on tour.
Well, I think he's the key to the match. He's the key player on this team. Troy Tanner is very, very talented. Remember, a gold medalist from the 1988 Olympic team in Seoul, South Korea, but steady. Wes is the one that can be up and down sometimes.
Here's Kent Steffes, and Steffes cuts it into the open court. Kent Steffes played with Scott Ayakatubby a couple of weeks ago, got a 7th, then finished 4th in Puerto Rico, and a lot of whispering going on that, hey, Kent can't do very well without Karch. What about it?
A lot of snickering by a big group of top players saying, hey, look, anybody could win with Karai. See, we told you so.
Nice set, and Welch hits it down on the line. So 34-year-old Wes Welch, kind of an interesting story. He's a free spirit, likes to serve snowboard, ski. Didn't have a sponsor at the start of the year, and as you can see, he's well adorned now. I think everybody's a little surprised how well Wes has played. Karch, and Karch snaps it straight down. 2-0 is our score. Karch Garay and Ken Steffes have the lead here in quarterfinal number 2. In other quarterfinal action, Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh defeated Bill Bouillon and Brian Lewis 15-10. Welch, come on, Karch with a dig.
Go light!
And the big block. Welch got Karch.
There's Wes Welch, and he's had a real turnaround year. You know, he said, look, I'm 34, I like the game, I love the game, but I'm not working hard enough, and now he's lifting. His wife is his own personal trainer, and he's changed his whole outlook and the way he approaches the game, and he's had results to go with it.
Wife gets him in the weight room and goes, go, go, go.
No lift, no dinner.
Here's Troy Tanner, won an Olympic medal in '88. Oh, blocked by Welch. And Welch and Tanner complaining about Steffes' set. Steffes has been a little shaky lately with the pause.
Well, a lot of spin, and you know, it's good to give the referee some guff early, plant a seed, put some pressure on him. Maybe he'll give you a call later on.
Into the net.
Ken Steffes,
and so Ken Steffes will have it. Steffes has won over $1,350,000 in his career, and he's 26 years old. He's out of bounds at that time. Asked Steffes, what was it like playing with Ayakatubby instead of Garay? He said, different. We didn't have time to gel as a team.
Well, they were a point away from doing very well at Manhattan, and that could have changed their whole partnership.
Wes Welch pumps up the big serve for a point. Good shot there, and it's 1, now make it 2-2. So Welch and Tanner, who beat Garay and Steffes in Phoenix 15-11, they knocked him out of the tournament in San Francisco 16-14. I got you. Over. And Steffes taps it down the line. Really, the serving game of Tanner and Welch has to be on, huh?
Well, and particularly Wes Welch, because not only does he bomb the jump serve, but he doesn't have that normal, good, true top spin. He just kind of knuckles it out there, and it comes out all kinds of different shapes and colors. Very, very difficult to pass.
Karch with the serve. And Welch thunders another one through.
Wes Welch has gotten every serve so far, Chris. Trying to wear him out a little bit. He does a lot of blocking, a lot of jump serving, trying to take a little bit out of him physically for later on in the match.
Here's Troy Tanner.
Good.
Come on. Tanner with a dig.
There you go. Nobody.
And Karch gets him back.
Cut.
Karch, stop! King to the beach.
Stuff.
Yeah. Tanner and Welch rebound and take the lead 3-2. It's not Southern California, but it's looking pretty good here in Chicago, Illinois. Chris Marlowe, Paul Sunderland, the Miller Lite Open here in Chicago. Troy Tanner, Wes Welch have the lead on the King to the Beach. Karch Garay and Ken Steffes, 4 straight points and lead 4-2.
And that's more points than Garay and Steffes gave up in their first 2 matches of the tournament. Won their first 2 rounds 15-1, 15-2, and already Tanner and Welch off to a very, very solid start. Serving the ball well, Wes Welch blocking.
Up to the line. You've got to watch football. Come up closer. Just kneel down. There we go. Head, Troy. Head.
Tanner, 30 years old. He'll serve it. And Karch chops it right inside the block. Karch Garay missed working out. It wasn't so much he missed playing, he just missed working out, getting out there and doing something in bed, basically, for a couple of weeks. As Steffes serves. Tanner, Steffes with a dig.
Go. Come on.
Touch off the block.
Retry quick.
Nobody there.
Go ahead, I'm here. I got this.
Steffes. And it's out.
Out of bounds. Side out.
A big break to Tanner and Welch. Long rally. That's what you've seen from Kirai and Steffes the last couple of years. Scrambling, covering the court, but then always so successful in transition. But Steffes just chopping it wide.
So here comes Wes Welch. Couple of seconds this year for Welch and Tanner. Down the line, Steffes gets the kill. And now Karch will serve. Karch's only other injury, he told me, he broke his hand in 1987. You might remember it in the Pan American Games and had to sit out 5 weeks. Welch. And Welch looks very, very confident right now.
Well, active, off to a good start. We've talked about that, Chris. You know, you've got players with the kind of ability that Wes has, but has never, until this year, really played up to his potential. But now he's ready to go, very strong physically and mentally. Got a lot of confidence with Troy Tanner and can come out and really, really compete.
4-2, Tanner and Welch. And they're serving Karch a lot.
Come on.
Tanner has the dig.
Try, Troy. Come on.
Tail the stuff, but Tanner's into the net. He touched the net.
On the continuation.
Kirai and Steffes get the ball.
Good opportunity for Tanner and Welch. When you get a chance to score, you got to sometimes be a little bit more conservative. Set the ball off the net. Here the joust coming, and there you can see Tanner's momentum just carries him through to the net. That's really not his fault. Wes Welch, his partner, set him too close to the net.
So Kent Steffes to put the ball in play. Says that Karch and I have great chemistry. We'll win this week.
That's
Welch blocked by Karch.
Kirai up on the block.
One of the strengths of Kirai and Steffes, like Fonoimoana and Ayakatubby that we saw earlier win, is that they split the duties blocking and defensively. Your legs don't get quite so tired if you do all the blocking, jumping high, getting over the net, blocking successfully.
Steffes. 4-3 is the score. Welch gets up. Karch with a high dig. Pretty good set.
Right on.
Tanner is there. And Welch hits the line.
Hey, smart play. Very, very sophisticated, smart play. Kirai and Steffes are trying to set their defense. You know, you can hit the ball 3 times. Don't have to. Going quickly on 2 here. You see Kirai wasn't ready, and Steffes is standing in the middle of the court, I formation, waiting for the ball to be set.
Here comes Wes Welch. He has always been known for having a big jump serve. And that one flies long.
Side out.
But that's his serve. Not a lot of true topspin. He just flails it, and if he gets enough in, up on your body, up in the throat, it can really cause you a lot of problems.
Karch to serve. His team trails 4-3. Tanner, and Tanner gets the kill. Tanner stumbled just a bit. You might notice on his left foot, he is wearing a black little booty. He's had web footing problems, but he also is nursing a sprained ankle.
Well, last week in Puerto Rico, I should say 2 weeks ago, came down on somebody's foot, tweaked his ankle, popped it. He's had tremendous problems with his ankles. I said, what's that booty? He says, I don't know. I went into a dive store. The guy said it would work, and here I am.
Karch Kirai and Kent Steffes, Troy Tanner, Wes Welch. Winner of this one goes on to play the Brazilians and Gino and Loyola, who have made it into the semifinals, beating Frohoff and Ludes 15-3. So the Brazilians have been hot so far. Welch hits it straight down. Score remains 4-3, Tanner and Welch. Wes Welch started the year with a knee injury. Played with Andrew Smith for 6 tournaments, then hooked up with Troy Tanner.
Good. Yeah. Nobody.
Steffes, big hit.
Fake block attempt that time by Troy Tanner. Executed pretty well, but good communication by Kirai and Steffes. As soon as the setter, in that case Kirai, sees the blocker drop off, just tells his partner to bomb.
Karch serving, trailing 4-3. And an ace. Big serve there, that ties it at 4.
Good velocity, not that tough in terms of location. Looked like it was right in the pocket on Wes Welch, and he just shanked it.
Ace again!
That one was good location. If it was Comiskey Park, I'd say in the black, low and outside, or Fenway. or Wrigley, wherever.
Here we go.
5-4.
Sand timeout.
Karai and Steffes lead. Sand timeout taken by Welch and Tanner. Karch Karai, of course, as we've documented, has had that kidney problem, but so far we've seen no effects as the Kings of the Beach lead by 1. Karch Karai, the King of the Beach, out almost 4.5 weeks, and it took him a little time to get rehabilitated.
Well, it wasn't exactly a vacation. 2 weeks, the Sealy Posturepedic routine in bed, lots of videos. He said, thank goodness for the World Cup. 1 week of light walking. Here, a third heavy ace in a row. 6 weeks out altogether. And is he back? I'd say yes.
So the kidney's been beating it 6-4 now. Karch and Kent lead. Chris Marlowe, Paul Sunderland, the Miller Lite Open here in Chicago. Fans watching a very interesting quarterfinal. Karch Karai, Kent Steffes back together for the first time in 4.5 weeks. Wes Welch and Troy Tanner. Karch and Kent block another one.
Karai and Steffes did not look good 3 minutes ago. It was like a period to the end of that paragraph. A couple of 3 aces by Karai in a different match right now.
5 straight points for Karch and Kent. Tanner. And Tanner whacks one hard down the middle. Troy Tanner and Wes Welch took a second in San Francisco this year, one they could have won, losing 7-6 to Johnson and Stoklos in a double final. Since then, they haven't played really all that well. They've been kind of erratic. Tanner serving.
Nobody.
And Steffes pounds it straight down.
Karai and Steffes have really settled into their normal pass set hitting game. Very, very difficult to stop. One of the ways to do it, of course, is to bomb jump serve every time. And Welch and Tanner are trying. They've got to maintain their composure here.
Tanner, nice shot up high over Karai.
Troy Tanner, one of those guys, an All-American at Pepperdine, kind of between positions, was a setter in college, played in Europe, went to the national team, couldn't beat out Karch Karai for a starting outside hitter position, and starting to finally have some big-time success on the beach.
You know, we were talking about Karch Karai. He had to stay in bed for 2 weeks, 1 week of light walking. Well, he told me the thing that really got him off light walking, he saw Johnson and Stoklos win Manhattan, and he said, forget the doctor. He went out and rode the bike and did intervals on that Sunday.
Come on, Kent. Nobody.
Karch with a dig. Can't make it happen. So sometimes you need a little goose, a little motivation to get out there and exercise.
Karch, fairly self-motivated guy, but I would say the 2 weeks he spent in bed was the most time he spent sitting still since he was in his mommy's tummy.
There's Karch. And Karch looking like he's had a 4-week vacation, jumping high.
There's something to be said. Let's remember, Karch Karai is 33 years old, a lot of wear and tear. Been playing this sport virtually year-round since he was 12 years old. And a vacation now and again is not such a bad thing.
7-4 is our score. Tanner and Welch trying to hang in. Welch.
Come on.
Kent is there. Karch, snap it.
Excellent play in transition.
Looking at full.
Steffes and Karai complement one another so well, both blocking, but both with the ability to scramble. Now, Steffes is there. Looks like an easy play, but look where he puts Karch Karai. Perfect position to swing at the ball.
Here comes Steffes, leading 8-4. Tanner and Welch have to stabilize. And they do for a moment. Tanner getting it off the block and out of bounds.
Welch Tanner.
If you're Welch Tanner, you serve hard or serve Steffes or serve Karai.
No, I think first of all you try to serve hard. That's what got them going early in this match. That's what establishes their momentum, makes them feel very good about themselves. Quick aces really get Karai and Steffes in trouble.
Help over him.
And Welch can't come up with it.
Kent Steffes with very good heat. You know, we talked about a lot of the players sniping at Steffes a little bit, you know, getting on him for not winning without Karch Karai. One thing that all the players said was, now we think we have confidence against Steffes. You know, before we weren't sure who was beating us. Was it Karch? Was it Kent? And they're going, well, now we know it was Karch, so we're going to go after Steffes.
Yeah, I talked to Steffes, so he said, look, I've got nothing to prove. I'm my own guy, and I know that I'm a very good player.
Well, I agree with that, and I thought that that would be his reaction, but the other players now feel more confident dealing with Steffes.
8-4, Karai and Steffes lead. And Karch whacks another one.
Side out.
Kent Steffes recently turned 26 years old. Interesting birthday present from one of his sponsors. He got a new Ford Bronco as a birthday gift.
Well, I got mine.
It's a green one. And a beauty, he says.
Come on.
I guess those are the kind of sponsors you want to have.
The kind of sponsor we never had.
That's right. Troy Tanner, Wes Welch trailing 8-4. Lots of time left, 5 minutes and 6 seconds to go here. Dodd and Whitmarsh already won. Akin, Fonoimoana won. Basil and Loyola, and Gino Loyola are into the semis.
Over.
And Steffes pounding on the right.
So you can't get conservative against Karai and Steffes. They're the best team on the beach when they were together so far this year, 11 out of 13. Phenomenal success over the last 3 years. You've got to take chances against them, and that usually, if not always, comes from very tough serving.
That's down the line. A little lollipop from Karch flies out of bounds. Early on, Troy Tanner and Wes Welch had a 4-2 lead, but then Karch and Kent scoring 6 unanswered points have taken the lead at 8-4. Both teams siding out now.
Go! Here we go. Nobody. Done there.
Chance for a point. Troy Tanner.
Line.
Not yet. Maybe now. Welch. Steffes dug in. Steffes puts it away. Call that digging lips. Nobody up. Where they used to do it.
Hanging in. Look at Karai. He's going right here, and Steffes just holds his ground, slices it off. Tanner is there, but does not get the lucky break out of the tape. Phenomenal dig. And that never happens unless you've got the courage to risk getting hit right in the face.
So Karai and Steffes get a point. Beautiful defense by Kent Steffes. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll have more live volleyball here in Chicago. We'll start at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Of course, Karch Karai, Kent Steffes, Troy Tanner, Wes Welch. A lot of teams still alive with a chance at the championship. The Miller Lite Open at Chicago. Don't miss it tomorrow. Steffes serving, leading 8-4. And Wes Welch hits one hard. So Welch gets a kill.
Welch now with 8, Troy Tanner with only 5, but the whole key to the match right now is the defense combined of Karai and Steffes. Between them, they have 9 digs, doing a phenomenal job chasing, helping one another out, and it all got started with a jump serving of Karch Karai as Wes Welch misses here. Very fine line between serving tough, trying to score with it, and missing too many.
A couple final notes on the Karch kidney. Karch figures it cost him $70,000 to sit out, $60,000 in prize money, $10,000 in incentives. Of course, you know what Karch said, the worst part of having a lacerated kidney, and it was echoed by his wife, no sex for 2 weeks. I mean, that's tough. That's worse than not working out. Precautionary measures, they told us.
Go. Here we go.
8-4 is our score. Karai and Steffes lead by 4. Game kind of dragging at the moment, right?
Well, it's been a beautiful day in Chicago, but it is very, very hot down on center court. Over 100 degrees, and the players have been playing already for all of today. This is their 3rd match of the day, and trying to buy a little time here and pace themselves, but another unforced error out of the team of Welch and Tanner. They got to regroup. You know, this is a team that's done very well, but this is what has plagued them since they did so well in San Francisco. Get down and then disappear. Great teams get down and then come back.
9-4. Tanner and Welch got a long road to go. Karch is there. Perfect set, and he puts it away. So Karai and Steffes perhaps making a statement here in quarterfinal action that they are indeed back on the tour together. And they will be tough to beat in this one.
First 2 matches of the competition, Kurai and Steffes gave up a grand total of 3 points. Now, through 2.5 matches, they've given up a total of 7 points. Playing very well.
1 full, 2 sands. Yes, sir. How many left? 2.
10-4 with 4:18 to go in our game.
4 sands over here.
Get an idea of just how hot it is down on center court. You know, really kind of a comfortable day for a July in Chicago. Humidity is low, but boy, it is hot down on the court.
Center court, Ken Steffes serving.
Ken Steffes said the one regret he has with Karch out, he would have liked to win Manhattan. Ken figures he was just a serve away, that great ace by Eric Fonoimoana. But that's gone, and this is now.
Line!
Welch, Steffes another dig.
Over, deep!
And Karch can't get there.
Side out.
Not many players would even think about trying to jump a bump. You got to jump about 45 inches to even think about it, and Karch having a chuckle at himself for missing that one. I think he enjoys being back out here.
And here's Wes Welch. Needs to get hot now. Trailing by 6.
Come on. Angle!
And through the block and down.
See, both Kurai and Steffes pass the ball so perfectly that it becomes a very easy job to set the ball. And that's where you have to break them down.
Karch Kurai with his brand new pink hat. He just had a brand new one made. Sponsorship all over the place, except on the top of his hat, Paul.
Haven't sold the skybox.
Nope, not yet. Welch, Karch is there. And double contact. So double contact called. 3:56 to play. 11-4. The Kings are leading. Back in Chicago, Chris Marlowe, Paul Sunderland. We talked about the available sponsorship area on the top of Karch's head. They got to mark him up like a police car so they can identify him from like long range. You know what I mean? Like the canine unit right on top of his hat. You got to have something on top there.
That's the only available space. Everything else pretty well covered.
12-4. It's been all Karch and Kent. Tanner and Welch started off well, but have kind of fizzled under great pressure from the Kings of the Beach.
Line!
Tanner got it.
Side out.
Tanner and Welch really never able to get off in the middle of the match.
Not at all. And they did get off to the good start, which is what we felt was really important, but they were unable to follow up. And what really turned it around was the 3 consecutive aces by Kurai. That turned the whole match around.
Tanner with the serve.
Cut! U.S.
And not getting there.
Side out. And Steffes going back to serve.
Kurai and Steffes have scored 9 points in a row. At one time, it was 4-2 Welch and Tanner. So actually, it's 10 points in a row.
Line!
And down the line. So a nice shot by Tanner. Kurai and Steffes doing a little better defensively, 13 digs to 6.
The only time you can double up, and they really once again complement each other so well. And remember the dig by Kent Steffes, hanging in, digging the straight down shot. Both of them with outstanding ball control. We saw great defense from Mike Dodd in our earlier quarterfinals.
Welch gets an ace, much needed, and breaking that 10-point run.
Well, Kurai and Steffes, whether together or apart, are still pretty good at the hubby-wife area up the middle. Very, very dangerous place to serve. Wes Welch exploiting it.
Karch and Kent take a sand timeout. So
Sand timeout taken.
there is something to be said for getting the Kings of the Beach to take a timeout. We'll come back after this. We're back in play. Wes Welch. And a little patty cake back over. Chance for a point. Tanner. And Karch's tag. Oh, my God. Gets it over. Tanner looking. Got it. So now the question, did Karch extending all out? What kind of an attempt was that? And did it hurt at all?
And it's on his right side. That's the side where he injured his kidney, maybe trying to prove to himself. And my gosh, what a play.
6-12.
I think we'll have to go do a little follow-up test after that play.
And of course, what we're talking about, Karai has been told by the doctors to test his urine after each couple of games. I guess he's got a little litmus paper, and he does a test, and he finds out if there is any blood in his urine after competitive volleyball.
Yeah, exactly right. And I asked Karch, I said, what happens if it shows up? He says, I got to talk to my doctor, tell him how I feel. He'll evaluate the severity of the situation based on the color of the test.
Steffes blocked it for a moment. Tanner up and down. Karch going again. Another test for the kidney. Karch is up. And it's out of bounds. Wow. Now, Karch told me when he was working out, he did not do a lot of diving because he didn't want to test it.
Well, that was smart. I mean, you don't hurt yourself. You don't give it all up in practice. You save it for plays just like this. That one not so tough on him. On his stomach, much like a dive you would make indoors. Not the kidney, so much exposed.
I tell you, Steffes is making some fabulous digs, but they're like kidney testers. Go get it. Check this out. Karch. And it's right to Troy. Tanner whacks it.
They're creeping back in. They're playing better.
7, looking at 12.
And I think I would serve Karch right now. He looked like he was a little winded from a couple of long runs. They should take timeout. They do. Steffes smartly calls timeout. So still time. 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Karch and Kent leading by 5, but Tanner and Welch starting to show some signs of life. Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland, the endless summer continues in Chicago, the Miller Lite Open. You see the scenic background, great spot to play volleyball. Very knowledgeable fans in Chicago. This is one of the hotbeds of boys and girls volleyball.
Some of the best high school teams in the country come within metropolitan Chicago. A very experienced crowd, and the AVP has been coming to Chicago for a long, long time, and they appreciate it.
Tanner and Welch trying to come back. They trail 12-7. But an interesting choice there. After the timeout, they come back and serve Kent Steffes.
I would have stayed on Karch. Has not played in 6 weeks, and not in the kind of shape that a Karch Karai would normally be in. And I'd go back and continue to challenge him, particularly after those long runs.
Tanner, Karch has got it. Steffes on the run. He's got it over. Tanner, nice shot down the line. So Troy Tanner and Wes Welch getting a little momentum.
Well, in Pro Beach Volleyball, you change sides, multiples of 5. Welch and Tanner got to get to the 12-8 side change and use that break to really regroup and make a push at Karai and Steffes.
Welch to serve, trailing by 5. And once again on Steffes. And Steffes responds. You know, we've talked about on the tour how great a shape Karch Karai and what kind of shape he's in. This is about as tired as I've seen him look. I mean, he's huffing and puffing. This is as tired as you'll see Karch look in the course of a tournament. And double contact. So a throw call on Troy Tanner. 2:23 to go in the game. Karai and Steffes in command.
That's not even close to a double.
Paul Sunderland fans are everywhere here in Chicago, Illinois. A massive crowd watching quarterfinal action. First day coverage. We'll be with you tomorrow live as Karch Karai and Kent Steffes trying to nail down a quarterfinal win and go on to meet the Brazilians tomorrow morning, and Gino and Loyola. In the other semifinal, Dodd and Whitmarsh will take on Scott Ayakatubby and Eric Fonoimoana. Karch with the serve. And Wes Welch pops it through. Pretty competitive game in the first, maybe the first fourth of the game, but then Karch and Kent ran off. How many was it, Paul? 8 points in a row to take a commanding 12-4 lead. Now it is 13-7. Tanner serving. And he serves it long.
Side out.
So Troy Tanner and Wes Welch trying to get their jump serving in and create pressure.
But it hasn't happened. You know, you look at their service game and just not that effective.
That falls out of bounds.
Aces overall, Chris, to finish that, they have 3 aces overall, all of those coming fairly early. but 7 errors combined with that. Not a bad ratio, but all those errors have come lately, and they just can't get any momentum.
There it is. Welch and Tanner. Ryan Steffes errors. Welch has got the knuckleball jumper. If he can get it in, it's very effective. Out! And it's going too long. What's the problem with that? Is he tossing too low? Or?
No, I think he's not tossing the ball far enough out in front of him. I think he's running under the ball a little bit and then deciding you got to go ahead and slug it anyway and just punching it long. You can let that toss drop if you don't like it, much like in tennis.
13-7 is our score. Welch, Karch with a dig. Tanner goes and gets it. Tanner into the net. Another phenomenal save by Karian Steffes. And game point is coming up, 14-7. First chance at game point. Karch is there. Looking to beat it. And he does.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winners, Coach
Karian Steffes wins big over Troy Tanner and Wes Welch in quarterfinal action. And we'll come back with more of Chicago after this.